Lee, welcome back to the show. Let's start with the great victory that seems to have been scored in the big tech war. The bullying and browbeating of TikTok didn't work. Banning is sure to follow, but the audience has gone to China instead of China coming to the audience. Tell us, how surprising was that outcome?
Okay, thank you, George, for having me. And we are witnessing a very interesting turn of events because the US government wants to ban TikTok because they worry the parent company, ByteDance, is a Chinese company. So that's why they want to force a sale of TikTok, force it to sell to an American company. But the result is that people in the US are flocking to an even more Chinese, an actual Chinese app. The Xiaohongshu Red Note. It's used by people in China. It's in Chinese language. It's a lifestyle app. But these users, TikTok, they call themselves TikTok refugees from the United States. They are flocking to Xiaohongshu, to Chinese app, make this app the most downloaded app in the United States. And it's absolutely peak irony that this TikTok ban led Americans to explore Chinese social media and discover that pretty much all they've been told about China and Chinese people are just a lie. So on this app, we're seeing some of the most lovely interactions among average American people and average Chinese people. I can name a few. For example, I saw some very interesting and very touching comments from these TikTok refugees from the United States. One said, Red Note got me wondering why we are always beefing with China. Love them. Another said, explain why China is my enemy. I have more in common with your average Chinese workers than I do with the American billionaires. So because of this authentic, touching, lovely interactions among the average Americans, average Chinese people, suddenly all these American users found out, whoa, Chinese people are really funny. They're really friendly. They're really nice. And now, today I saw the interactions got to a deeper level because now these TikTok refugees from the United States are asking more questions, such as, I just shared it on my Twitter. Someone asked, can we talk about the healthcare system in China? And I think the results, there were thousands of replies, American users sharing how expensive it is for them to have a surgery or even some like tooth problem or small flu. But then Chinese people were shocked. Wow, that expensive? That's like, so no wonder they suddenly understand why Luigi was such a big news in the United States. And also Chinese people been sharing how effective, how cheap it is here to go to a hospital in China. And now we also see some users in the United States asking, tell us what Western media have told us about China is wrong in reality. So there are much more deeper interactions happening on the social networks. And all Chinese people are very welcoming all these users from the United States. And actually, we are seeing users not just from the United States, almost from every Western country, the United Kingdom, Iceland, everywhere. There are new wave of users flooding to Xiaohongshu. So I'm very glad to see these authentic interactions among the people, because what the empire was trying to do is divide and conquer, separate people, fear mongering, and so to make people in the West a fear of the Chinese people. But turn out, like, when you have authentic interactions, it doesn't work anymore. And even more interesting, because they want to ban TikTok in the name of national security. They threaten the US citizens, like, Chinese people are spying on you. They are stealing all your data, all your information. But these TikTok refugees from the United States making videos on Xiaohongshu, on Douyin, sharing, you know what? I'm voluntarily giving all my information to China. China, take it. Chinese spy, I'm lovely to meet you. Because you know what? I think China is taking better care of their citizens than the US government. And and many of them even saying, I have more important things to worry about. I need to worry how to pay my rent and how to pay my other bills. So I don't care whether this software belongs to China or United States. I don't care. And China has been with us since day one. We wear clothes that are made in China. We use coffee machines made in China. So what? TikTok is made in China. So I think the deeper issue is these people flocking to Red Note or 小红书 doesn't mean they are supporting China's system, doesn't mean they are love China. I think the deeper issue is the US citizens have trust issues with their government. So what the US government should do is, well, to think about, to reflect, what have you done to make your citizens have so little trust in you that rather they don't choose Meta, they don't choose X, they rather go to an actual Chinese app and learn Mandarin Chinese to talk to the Chinese people directly. So it's a very interesting turn of events.
Well, as a famous Chinese man once said, sometimes the enemy struggles mightily to lift a huge stone only to drop it on its own feet. And that's exactly what the US government has done with this. But what will happen now to the American TikTok? Will it just be a memory of something that used to be? Or will, with a new president coming in, I mean, I did read some speculation that Mr. Musk might buy it. After all, he has very extensive business relationship with China. Is that a possibility, or will American TikTok just go the way of, I don't know, sarsaparilla and jukebox?
I think we will see the results after the 20th, after the new administration take office, and let's see the new president will make a final order whether this will be banned in the United States. So it only affects users in the United States. Users in other countries, you'll be fine. You still can access TikTok. But even in the United States, I think if they want to access TikTok, they still can find other ways, such as using VPNs. But let's see. I'm also looking forward to see the results. But I think so far we saw the administrations from TikTok. They are very they don't want to sell to a US company. And so many users, these TikTok refugees from the United States, even saying, you know what? I don't want to see, even I don't want, as an American, I don't want to see TikTok being forced to sell to a American company. So I think we have to look for the results. But now, no matter what, I think this is a big blow to the US corporates and to the US government. Why their users are rather flocking to a foreign language app to know the supposed enemies that it's also interesting that the US government spent billions of US dollars on anti-China propaganda, but it looks like it doesn't work because their citizens are seeing through all the lies and rather make this effort to talk to Chinese people and talk to any other people in any other countries that has been demonized by their government. So let's see the results. But I really hope TikTok won't be sold to a US company.
Well, the number one download in the US this week is this Red Note that you speak of. But the second biggest is the actual Chinese TikTok. It's a double whammy of extraordinary proportions and shows that when the people move, they can move very decisively indeed if there are enough of them. Now, you had the misfortune, you may not agree, to suffer a visit from the Bond villain that is Britain's Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rachel Reeves. She went to China, even though other parts of her government keep up an unremitting series of hostile acts against China. She was there, well, frankly, looking for a handout, looking for some kind of assistance for a British economy that is in a very precarious situation indeed. How was she received, if anyone knew that she was even there?
Any foreign leaders, politicians, when they come to China, we all welcome them with open arm, and our government, our leaders welcome them with open arm. I know sometimes even the politicians that made horrible remarks about China, but when you see news when they are in China, our leaders always welcome with the full respect, and I think that's our Chinese way. We have courtesies to our guests. And in speaking, you just mentioned the economy, and I know some Western leaders are still crying about the collapse of China's economy. But I don't know whether our viewers watch the recent news. China's trade surplus just reached a record high, nearly $1 trillion US. That's a enormous trade surplus in 2024 and highest ever share for countries in the Belt and Road Initiative. So I think that shows the resilience of China's supply chain. So no matter how media or some experts, economists, media projecting China's economy as very negative, is the economy going to collapse any minute, I think the results show the different because with this trade surplus, there are some fundamental changes in this surplus because China now, we have a lot of exports, of course, but what's being exported are changed. Last year, more high-end equipment were being exported, more high-tech equipment such as electric vehicles, 3D printing machines, industrial robots, and more domestic Chinese brands are being exported to other countries. And more partners have been working with China, either for exports or imports, over 150 countries and regions. And the number one trading partners are ASEAN countries, the countries in Asian Pacific regions. That's our largest trading partners, and also a lot more BRI countries. So that shows the largest, this shows resilience of China's supply chain. But of course, now China facing some challenges in terms of economy. Many media and experts, Chinese experts and politicians pointed out as well the real estate problem, the stock market problem. But still, all the economists in China that I've talked to have quite a lot of confidence about China's future because all these challenges we're facing now are not that new. They've prepared. And China now, still among all the countries in the world, has the largest market, has the most complete industrial chain, industrial system, and also have the largest number of well-trained workers. So all of this made China's is basically irreplaceable. So I think working with China, doing trade, doing economy is an unstoppable trend. And the result, the trade surplus from 2024 shows that the trend is going very well. So I think that's a little bit of positive message to our viewers.
Finally, Marco Rubio is, if confirmed by the US Senate, is the new Secretary of State. He made some comments today, which were really particularly threatening, a stepping up of belligerent language vis-a-vis Taiwan. He said that the US has to show that any Chinese attempt at the return of Taiwan to the motherland will be too expensive. What do you think he meant by that?
Well, Marco Rubio is a very well-known anti-China war hawk. And a little bit, well, the new cabinet, the new candidates in the new cabinet is a little bit worrying. Many of them are war hawks. Some of them have experience doing trade and lived in China as well. So far, it's too early to say what the new administration gonna do to China. But I can tell you for sure, like you mentioned, the cross-strait issues, the Taiwan question is China's red line that cannot be crossed. And I don't think the United States really wants to start a war at the streets. They just want to use Taiwan Island as something to stick it to Chinese mainland. But I can, so Chinese people, I think from the past year, our leaders met with US leaders several times. The message has been pretty clear. China, either the Chinese government, Chinese people want to work with the United States. We want to be friends with the United States. And actually, it's very important, not just for these two countries, but for the whole world, that these two countries get along and work together. But and we actually invite more people from the United States, from United Kingdom, from all the Western countries, come to China to visit us and talk to us. See for yourself. Does it really look like what the media have been telling you? And now China have this visa visa-free policies to 40 or 50 countries. So it's much easier for anyone in the West, in the Europe, in the United States to come to China. The second, even though we are friendly, we want to be friends with you, we want to work with you, there are boundaries. The reunification between Chinese mainland and Taiwan Island is the thing all Chinese people want. It's the results of our unended civil war between CPC and KMT. So it's a civil war. It's a domestic issue, and the United States have no place to talk about to have a say about Taiwan. So this is the fundamental red line. And I assure you, if they cross the red line, there will be serious consequences.